it's gonna be the same. So I'm gonna do both. We are live on YouTube StreamYard. We have a few folks who worked at different places as well, and I as I said before, folks, I will prioritize mutuals on the stream. But if you're cool, we're gonna bring you up. So Zaid, I don't know if you're cool. Let's find out. And the speaker. But Dominic, if you're cool, oh, I get some feedback here. Twitter Spaces is bombing, and so some stuff does not work. But let's see. We have YouTube as well. LDJ, have you seen the Nazi Grok? Yes. Yeah. It's good that they like committed to not wanting this exact like sayings out there. I agree with you. We have a few more minutes, folks, to the stream, and we will definitely catch that stream once it starts. Uncle Elon is known for not doing streams on time, but if you guys are watching the XAI feed and you already have the stream, please send it to me so we'll be able to restream it super quick. And we are also live on YouTube, and we have a bunch of folks as well. Welcome everybody who watches on YouTube and on video. We have a good group of folks here to watch together the launch party for Grok 4, the older brother of Grok 3. And supposedly we'll have an announcement about open source of some sorts, because when Grok 3 launched, we had an announcement of open source of Grok 2. LDJ, have you have you interacted with the open source Grok 2 already? It didn't. They promised us it would. They promised us they will open source Grok 2, and as far as I know, Grok 1 was the only one that was open sourced, and it was really hard to run as well. So we did not get the second Grok as open source as Uncle Elon promised, but hopefully we'll get this one. Swix is correcting me and saying Grok 4 is the younger brother and not the older brother. I guess that's true. I never thought about it like this. A new model, like the new model that came out, like imagine Elon is the father and those are his kids. The new kid is the younger kid, it's not the older kid. I said Grok 4 is the older brother. Yeah, it's the most capable younger brother, Grok 4. I guess it makes sense. Folks, this is the commentary that you're to expect in this evening. This is not structured. This is just a conversation. Let's say hi to some folks on stage. What's up, DreIR? How are you? If you're with us, feel free to unmute, and if not, we'll give somebody else. What's up? What do you use Grok for? I'm gonna keep it topical as much as I can. Do you use Grok much? Alrighty. Yeah, that makes sense. What are you expecting from this new one? Do you have any expectations? You mean the Nazi sayings, that controversy, the mind prompt type things? Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. We're gonna chat about this as well. We have a few folks joining us as well. Let me add a few folks. I have Adam here. What's up, Adam? It's gonna be a chill space, folks. We haven't done a chill space in a while. I'm very happy to have mutuals here. Live watch party. I should though do some magic Let me do some magic super quick so that, yeah. LDJ, what do you expect from this new model? Yeah. We'll see how much info they put into this. Supposedly it's also multimodal. Supposedly. They worked hard on the multimodality stuff. What do we think? Oh. I'm gonna add, for folks who are watching on stream, I'm gonna add the window. Stream is not on yet, and it's 9:01, and this is like Elon time. But if folks or comments already see, oh, there you go. They just posted, Grok live stream will begin soon, stay tuned. So I'm monitoring the situation, and we're all monitoring the situation together. Welcome to the monitoring room, everyone. Feel free to come up if you want. I will add the stream the second it starts. So we will definitely monitor together the Grok 4 release that supposedly was trained on like 200,000 H100s, something crazy like this, right? I saw a number somewhere. I don't know if it's possible to confirm or not. Yeah, that's a lot of GPUs. That's a lot of GPUs. What we've seen with a bunch of Grok updates, the GPUs are not everything, and Eagles also are not everything. So I'm very curious playing with Grok myself. I've been using. I actually use Grok a lot more than people can expect. I think I use it for obviously its purpose, which is finding the stuff on X, not necessarily in the questions, but I use it as a writing helper as well. I am using it to write a lot, and I've been using this app called Chorus that shows you kind of multiple things side by side. And Grok recently has been giving me very good like summarization of stuff, so I'm very, very happy with that. We are with a lot of folks. This is a big space, folks. We have almost 300 folks. Somebody says they heard this is the first model to use the 200s. That's interesting. Yeah, release hype models. I actually don't know if that's true or if it's falsifiable, but hey, we have rumors here. Let's see, I'm gonna add a few more folks. And folks, by the way, those of you who are new, just stepping in, you're in this like very chill watch party for Grok 4 that the announcement for which is gonna come any moment. As always, the announcements from Elon Musk are announced to some time, and then usually it takes a while. We're not gonna play music, but we're gonna definitely talk a little bit amongst ourselves and you guys to give you some entertainment about Grok upcoming release. And once they schedule the release, we're gonna restream this. So if you're listening to the space, you don't have to watch the actual one. We're gonna also pin this to the top of the space, and if you're watching on YouTube, hey YouTube folks, you will be able to also enjoy this, because we know that Musk is not a YouTube favorite, so YouTube is not gonna have a Grok 4 stream besides us. I see a bunch of folks that I want to add to the stage if they want to come up, so I'm just gonna send a bunch of invites. course. We're gonna chat about this tomorrow. Yes, Comet is dope, and I've been doing some stuff. So absolutely, Comet is gonna be. Maybe it's worth shouting out that this space is a like impromptu space. I see a bunch of friends do that. I want to add everyone. Quinn, if you want to come up, you feel free to come up. I'm going to send you an invite. Dave, I haven't heard from you in a while. We have a bunch of folks that are joining. But for folks who are not familiar, some of us here on the stage, we are part of a weekly AI news show called ThursdAI. If you go to my profile, you actually see it. And we've been doing this for the last 2.5 years. Live streams like this, more on point. And we're going to do one tomorrow. And we're definitely going to cover everything that happened in AI this week, including this. So including whatever Elon and friends are going to launch very, very soon. So you are more than welcome to join that. But also, while speaking of different streams, we have multiple streamer folks here. Ryan, what's up? How are you, man? Hell yeah, that's a great spot to watch Grok from, though probably later for you than the East Coast, than West Coast. It's Grok 4. I think they're gonna go for broke. I think they're gonna like wow with a bunch of evals and like claim the top spot like super quick. You know the interesting thing that I noticed is LM Arena, which usually has access to models before and they kind of like announce. This time they're like, we're excited to see Grok 4 come very, very soon, and they don't have access to it, so they're like excited to get it. It's going to be very interesting whether or not, we have a new king at coding or not. I doubt it, but maybe. But hopefully. Not businesses, you mean? I think they posted some stuff recently that some businesses have joined Grok, but yeah, I also gotta wonder, the recent updates about the recent controversies, let's say, with the Nazi stuff. Probably everybody here followed it, and if not, we will talk about this. Whether or not those are only for Grok, the replier, and not Grok, the model or API. Because I kept using Grok via the API, nothing happened. But Vibo, if it becomes Nazi all over the stack, then that's not good. Yeah. Yeah. I think they went on record by saying that nothing in the model changed. But that guy who went on record, he was, I think he said like opinions my own or some stuff like this. So I don't know how much to trust it. I'll be right back, guys. You go ahead. I heard the same about like December time for non-European models. Like around come Christmas time, the models are like they're just taking a break. Comet is new to me literally from today. Folks who are listening, Comet will refer to the new agentic AI browser from Perplexity. And I have now multiple AI browsers in my stables, let's say. And Comet is pretty cool. It can do things. And I have run my benchmark for agentic stuff. And folks, I'm here, but like if anybody notices like the stream start, please let me know, interrupt me, come up, whatever. We need to make sure we're not missing the stream. But meanwhile, Comet is pretty cool. I realized like just now from Alex Gravely. Do you guys know Alex Gravely? He used to build Minion, I think. Yeah, Minion AI. And he is one of the first guys that came up with Copilot. He is now at Perplexity, and some of the stuff he was working on with Minion is now probably turned into Comet, and a lot of it looks cool. Like it can. I did a demo today at ThursdAI here in Denver, and I went to the page of that event with everybody who registered, and I said, hey, find me the last name of this guy, somebody who raised their hand, and then I said, hey, send him a LinkedIn friend request. So the browser went, found his LinkedIn link in the browser, and then send him a friend request in LinkedIn. That was a cool demo, and it worked fine. Oh, you switched to D as main? Wow. I use Dia every ThursdAI. Yeah, so the way I use Dia is because I have like a lot of like news to go through. I basically open up all those tabs and then I like select them, and I have a skill in Dia. You can save prompts to skills, and then I can like I have a very specific way I like my summaries to be. I have like an executive summary, a bunch of notes, and I use Dia for that. Dia is incredible for that. I haven't switched it to as my main, but like I absolutely use Dia's AI features all the time. It's great. Oh, just record how I do it? Hell yeah. Alrighty, folks, we have a bunch of folks here, almost 600 people. Welcome to the stream. Also, welcome to our friend Robert Scoble, who joined us here. What's up, Robert? Yes, the second live stream is gonna come on. We're gonna restream this here, so folks are welcome to stay on if they want to see. We also have a video version of this. If you want to just hear, we're gonna restream this here. It's gonna be a lot of time, and Robert, as you know, as with Tesla streams and SpaceX streams, SpaceX starts on time because rockets need to fly. But with the Tesla streams and other Elon Musk streams, they start approximately at the time that he said, and then we're just here to wait and have fun. We have other folks here that I don't. Robert, go ahead. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I'm gonna add Caleb. Go ahead. What's up, man? You have your hand up. I haven't, and if you wanna DM me that, I would love to like pin this as well. I haven't seen those. I'm getting somebody saying that they can't hear the guest. Awesome, thank you. Alrighty. While we are waiting for the X, folks who are, people say they can't hear the guests on the stream. All right, let me try to fix this. LDJ, meanwhile, can you pick up the conversation? Maybe Ryan, maybe Robert. I'm gonna try to fix the stream. Go ahead, Ibu.
probably just good to do, like, since they kind of, like, promised to, and just in case there's, like, maybe some type of, like, little small tweaks or advancements that aren't really like made public yet by other labs or universities. So I think from that end of things, it's probably useful. But I think overall, as a model itself, it's probably not going to be useful just from the standpoint of its like efficiency frontier of how big it is and how compute costly it is to run versus its actual quality. Like the quality and computational load that it takes is probably going to be better ratio if you just like look at what's available out of the latest open source models compared to trying to run that. I think R1 actually is already significantly better than Grok 2, right? Like basically through by every measure.
Yeah, I think you're right. After kind of like we were promised Grok 2 as open source, and then basically there was no point in releasing this. It's besides us wanting, besides the open source geeks kind of like getting excited about like having this model. Um,
Hmm.
I doubt that many people will run this. It's probably not super optimized as much as R1 uh, to run locally as well. It's definitely not optimized to run locally. So like we'd get it, and then nobody would run this. Like I can see why it's not like super important to have released this. Um, yeah, folks, we're coming up on 15 minutes post the mark, and Grok team is nowhere to be found. But at least we fixed the audio issue. So, folks who are joining in on the X stream and on YouTube stream, welcome everyone. We are in the Grok live watch party, and for now, we're just chit chatting because we're all waiting for the folks at XAI to come up with the announcement. I will say I had a chat. I don't know if you guys can see it on my feed, Robert. I don't know if you know this as well. Elon is driving those folks pretty hard, and I don't know if it was like jokes or not, but folks are sleeping in the office, and somebody said like we slept in a tent. I said you guys are sleeping in tents, and one of them was like, well, the cool folks are getting tents. Everybody else like sleeps on the table. And actually, somebody posted from XAI a picture of him on the table saying, "This was me this morning." So these folks worked really, regardless of whether or not this is a joke. I know for a fact that like, these folks worked really, really hard for this release, and I'm very, very excited to see what's gonna go on there.
From what I've seen, many of them have been sleeping, at least the key team for management has been sleeping in tents for almost 3 weeks now at
Yep,
HQ.
yep. And like the management get tense. Everybody else sleeps on the table or under the table, which is insane to me. But hey, that's if you wanna go for broke, that's how you do. You wanna
They
work for
did all
Elon.
that work to remove the tents from SF, and now they're back.
Hopefully they get them some nice tents. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I joke, but in regards to the coding capabilities, though, I remember somebody's bringing that up. There's those leaked benchmarks in the Grok website code that some people found, and for that, they were showing the specific. It looks like it's called a Grok code, so it seems like they basically have a fine tune of Grok for specifically for coding abilities,
Mm.
and that is for the standard. Here, I just had it pulled up right here. So for the standard, which appears to just be like non-reasoning score, it's scoring 72 there, and for comparison, that is here. I'm looking at the actual Sweetbench leaderboard now. So I can't find Claude 4 itself, but Tools plus Claude 4 Opus is scoring 73%.
Which benchmark
So
is
this
this?
scoring Sweetbench or
Sweet bench.
Sweetbench verified.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, so that seems like basically the same score as Tools plus Claude 4 Opus. But then when we look at the test time compute score for Grok 4 code on Sweetbench, that's 75. So a little good bump above Claude 4 Opus plus Tools there. But it does seem like there's uncertainty around what they mean by test time compute. Because if you remember back in the original Grok 3 live stream, the score that they put up there for test time compute, it was like reasoning score plus like consensus 64, which basically means you run the model like 64 times with reasoning on, and then you do like majority voting, or you have the model then look at those 64 responses and then like decide what should be the final answer.
Yeah.
Like you do things like that, which is like things you wouldn't actually do in the Grok application, right? So yeah.
100%. We have a live stream link, folks. G-Bing from the team just posted it on the X. And if you go search, just Grok. If you go search XAI, you literally see the event pop up in the search results. So I'm going to pin this and we're going to try to restream once it starts. And we're going to do a sound check super quick. I'm hoping that our setup is already set up properly. We have a bunch of folks in here. We were over 1,000 folks listening to the space. We have like 3,000 already on the live stream. Welcome everyone to the Grok live stream party. We will be retranslating whatever the XAI team shows us, and then we're going to do analysis. So welcome everyone. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of folks here on Twitter Spaces, you guys can see, and I'm restreaming this on YouTube as well. So welcome YouTube folks. There's at least 20 of you. At least.
Looks like Caleb has had his hand up for a little while.
What's up, Caleb?
Oh, that must be a glitch. It doesn't show up on my screen. That was just from earlier.
Yes, we have glitches. Instead of fixing X spaces, they're gonna work on. What do we think about the whole X is now part of XAI thing? I never like publicly talked about this. We have some time. It's kind of interesting, right?
It is interesting. If anything, like I kind of thought it would be maybe the other way around. Like it's kind of unexpected for XAI to own X.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense if it's like valued much higher than it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the big question is who's going to be the new CEO of X.
Oh, that's true, folks. Today, Linda Yaccarino left the CEO position, and now XAI owns X, and there's maybe no reason for an X CEO. I don't know, but yeah, could be Nikita Beer who just joined.
That's actually a good point. I didn't consider that. Maybe they just won't have a new CEO because it's already under XAI, and so like they don't necessarily need a CEO for X itself.
Yeah. All right.
So what model is everybody using for their daily driver for coding? I mean, I'm still Sonnet 4. I'd like to see Grok 4 try to unseat Sonnet 4 if we can.
I think based on all the benchmarks that I saw, Cloud Sonnet and Cloud Opus for folks is the main driver for Cloud Code. I don't know, LDJ, what are you using?
Yeah, I'm using Cloud 4 Opus mostly. And then in benchmarks, it seems like they're basically not different at all in a lot of cases. But to me, it feels like a significant difference just in robustness, especially in reliability.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, I tried to get in the groove of still using O3 because just from the standpoint of if I have more conversations in ChatGPT, like because they have the past memories feature where it can remember your past messages, then whenever GPT-5 releases, then it'll like better benefit me. So
so you're investing in the context engineering of your own future with the next apps.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad move, actually. Not dumb.
Yeah.
Cloud Code is just so good. I think it'd be interesting to see if they also put out like an agent type copilot. So if they have like the rumors say this sort of Grok 4 for coding, does that also come with a Codex, Jules, Cloud Code style tool so they can actually start like pushing the API a bit more,
I hope so. I feel like no one's talking enough about the fact that Boris went to Cursor.
Yeah, chief architect.
It's just like, I feel like Cloud Code got gutted. I mean, I can't believe that Cursor got him.
Cat Wu too, the lead PM. Right. Yeah, that's both of them.
That's a great move. I was just asked today. I did a ThursdAI presentation. I talked about Cloud Code and Cursor, and folks asked me like, "Hey, why does the same model, Cloud Sonnet 4 or Cloud Opus 4, behaves differently in Cursor than it does in Cloud Code, and why does Cloud Code, like many people report, that it's actually better?" And I guess some prompt engineering is the reason, and some of these folks who did the prompt engineering now work for Cursor. Boris and Cat Wu. Yeah, right here. We're gonna get started hopefully soon. We have the live stream link, and
it says 10:30 on the post.
10:30, which time zone?
That's, I guess it just auto adjusts to the time zone, basically 6 minutes from now.
Oh, yeah. For me, one of them said like 3:40 a.m. So I'm not sure, but yeah, 6 minutes
Okay.
from now, it's gonna be awesome, folks. We're gonna restream this. If you want to stay in the space, you're welcome to. If you want to mute the space, go watch it and come back. Definitely worth doing this as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see us and the stream as well. And we're gonna check out the evaluations for this model. Hopefully, they're gonna show us some things we haven't seen. I'm getting to a point where it's harder and harder not to impress, but to explain why a model is better than the other model. They can tell us the evals, right, LDJ? But like even with OpenAI and the reasoning models, they always come up with this like super advanced use case that they came up with, and then everybody who watches the stream immediately runs to the other models, and that model also can do this use case. So
Yeah, for sure.
So it's really hard to kind of come up with a model at this point and show a substantive advantage of your, like, let's say, language model. Maybe new features like video, which Elon Musk hinted at, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see what they do.
I DM'd you something, by the way. It looks like some info about Super Grok subscription plans is out.
Oh yeah.
And it's shown on the App Store already. I sent it to you on XTMs.
Somebody, Rick, in messages GM'd me, Nikita Beer, who's now the chief PM, I guess, for X. He said, "We need a few minutes. It's doing it again," which I'm assuming he refers to the. I'm really hoping the "it's doing it again" doesn't refer to the Nazi stuff. I'm really hoping the Grok 4 is smarter than this. It's going to be very embarrassing. Do you guys think they will address this or not?
Boy, it's pretty bad. I mean,
it was pretty bad, man. It was pretty bad. Folks who are listening who don't know what we're talking about. At some point yesterday, folks started noticing that Grok started spewing some incredible racist, Nazi-adjacent, anti-Semitic propaganda, and then referred to itself as Mecha Hitler. And then they started deleting some of these posts, but you can look them up. People took screenshots. Nothing goes away on the internet. And they've apologized and pulled the Grok responder from responding with text. So you no longer can ask Grok, hey, Grok, what does it mean? Yeah, somebody's making fun of me. He says Nazi adjacent. It called itself Hitler. Yeah, well, Nazi directly. Yes, that's a good call. Thank you. And they pulled it back after a while, and now it only generates images. It was crazy, and they addressed it by removing the feature, but they didn't really kind of like tell us why and what steps they're planning to take to prevent this from going on.
From what I heard, they have a special translation layer between the prompt engine and the actual results. So there's a special model they use as like a public model that's forward facing for everybody on X. That's for the chat reply. So what I heard is they're addressing that. It's just a layer. They don't have to go and rebuild anything.
Oh, this is the way that how they're going to address the situation, right? They're going to run like a guardrail layer. That's a very standard thing. I just very surprised they didn't have one that would prevent it from spewing Nazi propaganda.
Yeah, I think they were trying to make it edgy and be more comedic. And I think the layer they had got out of hand and wasn't tight enough for this public version that they use.
Yeah. As maybe folks remember, last time this happened to Grok, it was 2 months ago. And back then it talked about all kinds of different white genocide and Kill the Boer, something called Kill the Boer, which is a South African song that supposedly talks about farmers killing white folks. So basically it would use those two things and inject them in every answer. And back then they also apologized. They pulled it back and they did an investigation and said that that was due to a rogue prompt change at 3:19 a.m., something like this. It was very late.
3:15 a.m.
3:15. Thank you, Vivo, for
it
this.
happened a few days later, twice. It happened again, and then they blamed it on a rogue employee action.
Rogue employee action, quote unquote. Yeah.
It's like, who are they giving access to the Git repo? I mean, it's a little concerning.
At 3:14 a.m. Pacific. Who has access? Who is this rogue employee? I wonder. Honestly though, all of them work at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So could be anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean it's uncle. But could be uncle as well.
But
Hi,
you
folks.
mentioned,
Go ahead.
the CLI projects, like you have a Codex CLI and you have Cloud Code and these different projects. Maybe it'll be cool to see if their Grok for coding specific model ends up having its own CLI
True.
available for people to use similar to that.
Yeah, it looks like every
That would
major
be-
lab now released a coding agent of some sort. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, that'll be so good. If we just need another strong competitor to Anthropic on this.
Yeah, Codex wasn't it, huh? Codex, if you look at the PRs on GitHub, Codex does a lot of PRs, a lot. But like, I think like 500,000 PRs already since Codex launched as a CLI tool, which means folks are using this. But I don't know, among our bubble, folks are not using Codex as much.
Yeah, I'm primarily using
You guys
background
tried
agents
the
and
Gemini CLI?
Cursor.
LDJ, can you hear Ryan? I think we're having like stream things.
Sorry, yeah, I think I have some latency on my end, but I think it's good now, hopefully.
Yeah. Just for folks who are listening to this, we're very familiar with Twitter streams. So instead of fixing X spaces, they went and scaled models. So we know that sometimes folks can talk over each other just because they can't hear each other. So we're going to try to make this one stream for you very interesting. And soon, hopefully, the live stream will start. It's supposedly a minute ago. But hey, we're here. We're having fun. This is a lot of folks. I will use this opportunity to actually say I haven't done a big space in a while, but we are doing, me, LDJ, Ryan joins often, a bunch of other folks. We're doing a live AI show every week. It's called ThursdAI. And we're going to do one tomorrow. And this is basically a preparation for this because I want to know what to talk about tomorrow. It's 8:30 Pacific a.m. every week. And we've been doing this for the past 2.5 years. And tomorrow we're going to have folks from Hugging Face that did open source a model talk to us about their small LM model. And we're also going to have folks from Reka AI. So we have a bunch of guests and we cover pretty much everything happens in AI. So if you're into this type of conversation about AI, you're more than welcome to tune in. And the link is going to be on my profile. We're also live on YouTube. And I did all this and said the spiel in the hopes that they're going to come on live, but nothing yet. I see more folks that I want to say hi to. What's up, Mark? How are you? Mark Sorofim, everyone.
Yeah, hey Alex, how's it going?
Good. What are you excited about Grok or not?
I'm more curious about speculating on it. Like, my hypothesis was like they want to maybe rein in on people going like, at Grok, is this true? And then just have like Grok auto fact check most like viral posts. Like, I figure leaning into sort of the deep research angle and like on the ground truth from like Twitter data would be really, really compelling. I kind of hope it's not yet another coding agent because like I think Claude is just fine for me.
Interesting. So what I hear you saying is you're expecting like updates, product updates, and not only like LLM updates, not only agent stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like this is like I think the biggest leverage I think that they might have. Like it's totally plausible they'll say, hey, we did this other thing that everyone else did. We just did it faster with a smaller team. Like I think by now we know like the X team is capable of this, but yeah, personally I would find the product updates significantly more exciting.
All right, folks, it looks like we're getting some notifications that they're live, but I'm not seeing them live. Anybody else see them live? Folks, please confirm.
Not yet, no.
The page that was shared, it no longer shows 10:30. It just says live stream will begin soon.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. And I got a few like notifications from ex folks. They're saying that we're live. So, and we have. I need to find this for you guys. Nearly Daniel. I'm gonna find this and pin this to the top of the space. Nearly Daniel just showed War Room Squad locked in. So it looks like Nearly Daniel. Let's see. Nearly. There we go. I'm going to add this to the top so you guys will see all of the hardworking XAI folks putting on the work to the live stream. So it's going to be on top of the space right now. Oh, cancel. No, I don't want to end the space. Our space almost ended.
Alex,
Yes.
do you want to post the link to the YouTube as well, just so people know where to go if they want to click it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Ryan. I will try to figure out how to do it while we're waiting. Yeah, folks, if you are interested in joining us and seeing the stream on YouTube, but also our commentary, which I promise you will be quiet. We'll, we'll definitely be quiet while the folks talk, while Elon talks, etc. You're more than welcome to join us on YouTube. I'm gonna paste it here, and hopefully we will have this link. Thanks, Ryan. Did you guys check out the war room? Everybody seems happy. Many people seem underslept for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna add the YouTube link on top as well, folks. So those of you who want to watch are welcome to watch with us. Grok release party, let's go. Who's excited, folks? Let's go. Who's excited? I'm very excited. Maybe I don't sound like this, man. Sorry about the loud air horns. I'm very excited. Not every day we get a top model like this. Go ahead, LG.
There was the I don't know if you guys saw some code on Google site. It looks like Gemini 3 is being readied.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some appearances of name.
We have a few things coming up very, very soon. And all these companies, they love like overshadowing each other. They just love it. They love like releasing a new model update just a few days after like this like top model released. So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm hoping they're gonna release the top model in the world, but it may not last long. So we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if GPT-5, Gemini 3, and Grok 4 are all releasing like within a few weeks of each other.
And OpenAI's open source model. Don't forget. That's supposed to rumor to be released next week, and should be all 3 mini level.
That is super exciting. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we have a bunch of folks.
Well, I heard some people saying O3. I heard some people saying O3 mini level, but Sama himself actually said publicly that they expect it to be better than any existing open source model. And at the time he said that, R1 was already released, which like that would basically mean he's saying they expect it to be better than R1.
I would be very excited to see if it's better than R1, and we can run this on our machines. All right, folks, what do we think? Do we have anything? No, not yet. We don't have anything yet. But what we do have is a video live stream. So I'm gonna add this to the top of the space for you guys. And I saw that Robert Scorbel added like a bunch of links for you guys to check out as well. And we are also live on the video. So if you wanna like see what's going on, we're gonna do this. We're gonna restream very, very soon the moment they start. As I said in the start, Uncle Elon time is different. So when they said 8 a.m. Pacific, they didn't actually mean 8 a.m. Pacific. They meant, they're going to try to shoot for this time. But it could take an hour. It could take 5 minutes. We don't know. But we did receive some indications from folks that it's like starting soon-ish. Gonna be exciting. Anybody else? We have multiple folks here. I have a bunch of requests. I don't know any of you folks, sorry. I want to add Brian. I'm gonna add a few folks. If you're mutuals with me and you want to come up here and talk to us about the new releases, feel free. Would love to hear from you. If you're from the company that I covered on the podcast, also feel free. I'm going to send out invitations to some folks that I think is going to be interesting to talk to. And yeah, folks, hopefully soon Elon and the XAI folks will show us the new top model. Do you guys think it's going to be top at everything? Like is Elon and folks releasing the King LLM for the next, I don't know, let's say week?
My vote is yeah. I mean,
it has to be.
They have the compute, right? So it's gonna be good.
Vibu, what do you think? I saw you on mute.
I think it'll be pretty good. I think it's pretty expected. Like they did it for Grok 3. Okay, so I talked to a lot of people at OpenAI and Anthropic, and they're pretty surprised with how good Grok 3 actually was with regards to how fast it came out. So they had a good base model. They have a lot of compute. I think it'll be exciting to see what they do. I think it'll be interesting to see how much they share, Like, are they going to tell us any more than here's weights and maybe here's some product stuff? So it's interesting to see what they'll put out.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm like, I think everybody here, dude, we have like 1,600 folks in the space. Welcome, everyone. Like 5,000 people on YouTube as well. I think we're all very interested to see what Elon and the XAI team that doesn't sleep and sleeps in tents in the office can pull. Very, very looking forward to seeing what they release.
I think it'll be exciting for the OpenAI open source model too, what they'll put out.
Yes.
Like will they do a paper? They won't give a data set. So background, they held an event at the office, like a workshop session about the model they're gonna release like a couple months ago, and they discussed, what should we put out?
Yeah.
Like what do you expect? So they're like, okay, license will be very chill. It's gotta be top of the top, it's gotta be really good, but they won't do a data set. They don't want to do a paper if it slows them down, but they shared a fair bit, But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what actually comes out. Like there's so much learning. Like the small LM stuff is good, Magistral is good on how to make open reasoning models, but they have that opportunity to do it,
I'm sure they have some secret sauce that they're going to be okay with sharing. Maybe not paper wise, and maybe not, just like data set, but like I'm sure they have something up their sleeve that makes ChatGPT good. That given open source, it's gonna look good as well. So I'm hoping. Ryan, go ahead.
I mean, theoretically, we're going to see the new training set, not the actual data, but Elon was talking a lot about actually training on a fresh set of data. And I'm curious if we're going to see any of that in this model or if that's like a Grok 5 thing.
First data set. Where?
Actually, speaking of which, does anybody?
Okay, so do you remember he basically
I
said
think he means newer knowledge cutoff.
he basically said no. So Elon came out and said we are gonna literally train from scratch on a brand new set of data that is not internet data, that's clean and true. And of course, everyone said, "Well, what's true?"
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
How do you define truth?
Yeah,
yes.
Well, exactly. But theoretically, though, that would drastically change the behavior of the model. So, be interesting to see.
Yeah.
It could also just mean verifiable, like truth. So reasoning data, math and code, verifiable, true. But that wouldn't be an Elon announcement, That's just expected. That's just it'll reason.
Yeah. Do you guys notice, by the way, speaking of Elon, he's not participant necessarily in the hiring war that Zuck is doing against OpenAI and just like the poaching war. I haven't seen also that Zuck got anyone from XAI. It's very interesting. Like that whole thing sidestepped XAI completely. This was like OpenAI folks, Anthropic, Google, Jack Ray from Google. I don't believe there's anybody there from XAI. Go ahead, LG.
On that note, OpenAI just poached 4 people, 2 of which are from XAI, and one of which is head of, if I remember right, head of infrastructure engineering or chief infrastructure engineer. One of those 2.
They also poached
from
like the
XAI.
top Apple ML folks, like one of the top Apple people as well. I think. Yeah, OpenAI is also poaching, but Elon is not in this game at all. Like not at least publicly. Not that we have seen. None of the $100 million comp packages between 100 and 300, I should say. Some folks are getting more than 100, which is crazy. Yeah, it's very interesting that XAI is not playing this game and that not a lot of folks go to Meta. But you're saying, LDJ, some XAI folks did go to OpenAI.
Yeah, OpenAI just poached 2 XAI folks recently.
I think it's a bit of an odd time for them to start poaching, right? Like in the past 10 days, they're probably finishing up this model. I think it's a bit of a distraction too,
Yeah, probably doesn't have time to go and recruit between everything else and the XAI release.
Maybe this is why CEO is gone. Who knows? You can think your drama.
Well, OpenAI is also finishing up GPT-5, right? So, yeah, I think everybody's busy.
GPT-5, folks.
Also, I think there's somewhat of a, I guess you'd call it selection is it selection bias, like in the data of how we're seeing this news about people poaching or people being poached. Like I think a lot of it is being more shown on the news now because of kind of the recent high comp packages that Zuck has been giving.
Yeah.
But I think prior to that, like if we go back to October, November, December, or around like just any time in 2024, there was also a lot of people moving between labs, but I think the news just wasn't really posting about it as much.
I mean, that very round $100 million number definitely made it so like it makes it to the news. The context that I love to put this in is that top Meta like VP people and like C-level suite people, they're some of them, somebody posted is around like 13-14 million dollar full total comp including stock a year, 13-14, and these folks coming in, we're talking like 100 million plus comp packages, which is insane. And then the funniest thing that I saw as a comparison is the Tim Cook from Apple. His comp package is like $78 million annually, including like stock incentives and everything. 78. So all these folks that Zuck paid $100 million to get paid more than Tim Cook, which is insane.
The Tim Cook one, the infrastructure and Apple Foundation model guy that they poached, the articles are that his comp is like 200 million.
Yeah,
even more. And then Tim only makes 70.
Yeah, that's crazy. You got a call like, hey, do you want to make more than not your boss, not your boss's boss, but like, do you want to make more than the CEO of the $2 trillion company that you work at? CEO, come over. Ryan, go ahead.
I love how literally the entire AI community is waiting for this right now. Logan Kilpatrick, our friend over at Gemini, just posted. He said, "If you need something to do while you wait," and then he posted a link to the AI studio over at Google. So I love it.
Yeah, and people will like. There's probably 1,000. We're getting some screenshots thanks to Robert of the Super Grok 4. And we're getting some information about the plans. So I'm assuming that like the XAI premium plans. Ooh, there's a Super Grok Heavy plan that's gonna cost $300 a month, and you get access to Grok 4 Heavy. All right, so at least we know that Grok 4 Heavy is gonna be a thing very, very soon. So I love these like releases. What else can we see from there? $300.
The naming is interesting because when they updated their app on the App Store about 8 hours ago, in the in-app purchases, they've listed as Super Grok and Super Grok Pro.
Yeah, and then Heavy is something else. We're gonna.
I guess, or is Heavy the Pro version, and on maybe the Apple App Store they just call it Pro, but I don't know. Maybe it's like a UI label.
Yeah. But folks,
okay, so if they're calling it Super Grok, like I see that in my sidebar in X. Is it everybody else seeing that?
Yeah, Super Grok. They changed the sidebar on X to Super Grok a while ago. Not that recent, like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But $300 a month for the Grok 4 Heavy plan announced. I gotta wonder what that Grok 4 Heavy is. $300 a month is a lot of money. It's the most expensive like premium AI package, I think, right? OpenAI's Pro is $200 a month. I think Gemini Pro is around $300. Don't remember exactly the price.
I just published a screenshot of the Apple App Store pricing with the in-app purchases for Grok's versions.
Nice, and it's also for $300.
Yes, it's $300 for Super Grok Pro.
With
Gemini is $250.
Gemini is $250, right?
Claude is also $250, the max one.
Claude Max is $250. So this is the most expensive one, and you can go yearly and pay $3,000 a year for exclusive preview of Grok 4 Heavy. I gotta wonder what they're gonna announce with Grok 4 Heavy, folks, for this like insane price. Because so far,
My guess would be,
go ahead.
I bet the coding model probably has less daily constraints on how much you can use of it. So maybe if you're a full-time, you're a software engineer, paying that $3,000 a year might be worth it.
If your company pays, this can be worth it for sure.
Or if you just want to work 2 hours a day or just cut time, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see what they pull up their sleeve pretty soon.
I think they're
Will
not
we?
like,
I don't know. I'm losing
they're
faith.
just trying to capture in that you use one of them, right? Like the plans are still, it's like someone broke it down where a lot of people use Claude for like over $1,000 a month, right? If I check my Claude Code usage, I'm also well over $250. But they're probably, the estimates are that the margins on inference is like 85%. So even if they're at cost, burning VC money, selling you free unlimited tokens, they're still locking you in, right? Like as a developer, like are you really gonna be trying another $300 a month plan? Maybe, but not as likely, right? And there is big margin on inference.
Yeah, we're definitely in this big battle of, you have all these companies battling people that are daily using it, software developers. And yeah, that's honestly a big point. Even if somebody comes up with their better model, is it big enough of a jump where it's worth switching?
Yeah. I guess how many of us actually can afford to also test all these things like all together? That's a very good question, because like hopefully they will release an API for like this thing. Like Cloud definitely releases an API for this thing, so you can choose going through them, or you can go via API and then kind of like at least test it out. But if Grok Heavy is not going to be released in API, then we may not know. Some of us will upgrade, but I don't know, folks. If I have $300 for me, any rich folks in the audience wanna invest in us, so we'll have access to test it out and talk on the podcast. You're more than welcome to. It's been 21 minutes past the first 30 minutes, and as always, Elon time. Robert, as an expert on Elon time, are we on schedule here? What's going on? Is it gonna happen?
I don't know. We Robot started about an hour late, partly because there was a medical emergency in the crowd.
All right.
But he always starts about an hour late. So,
Yeah.
just hang out. It'll start.
At least we know the folks
maybe
are
by
in the
midnight.
Maybe by midnight. At least we know the folks are in the room waiting for this thing to happen. So we will be here with you guys. But those of you who get tired, should know that if you subscribe to ThursdAI, the podcast that I run, we'll give you all the details tomorrow as well. So you don't have to. If it's later, Ryan, I know you're in New York. We're approaching midnight there.
I know I'm about to fall asleep here.
Yeah. Come on, uncle. Do something. The meme with the stick. Folks in the audience, we have a bunch of folks commenting and everything. What do you expect to be different about this model? I would love to hear from folks. What do you expect that's gonna happen? That what they're gonna release, what's gonna be new about this model, what are you expecting? Maybe feel free to comment and give us a comment as well. That's gonna be always helpful to pull up as we try to come up with topics of conversation for the past 15 minutes to not bore you guys while we wait for Elon and the XAI crew.
Okay, I have a fun question on that. So, like Claude does hybrid reasoning models, right? So you can do thinking on and off.
Claude is?
OpenAI does the opposite, right? If you want a reasoning model, you have to use the O series. So like they're reasoning only, and for them, they have to now train another model, host it. Like they have to host the two separately. So will Grok have the same? Will it be hybrid? Will it not? It doesn't really matter too much, but what do we think they'll do?
I can take a stab at this, but like wondering other folks as well. OpenAI publicly announced that they're going to go towards hybrid, and then they kind of changed tune a little bit and released all three as a standalone reasoning, just like full reasoning. But they definitely talked about hybrid models, and everybody else is hybrid as well. Like all the open source recently releases, even from China, all of them are like you can turn the thinking on and off while inference is happening. So could be that like that's how Grok is going to operate as well. Go ahead, Caleb.
I just want to say they must have just turned something on server side, because if you open the Grok app on iOS, And even if you're already on the highest tier like I am, and you click upgrade, it now shows a button for upgrade to Super Grok Pro. And if I click it, it has like a little flashing, like there's like some kind of glitch, and then it just shows upgrade. You're already upgraded to Grok 3. So obviously they just turned something on because it's now showing an additional option, which is that $300 a month.
I just went to Super Grok on X, and I got a notification saying introducing Grok 4, the most intelligent version of Grok, now with extended thinking. And I hit. I'm going to show this on stream because, like, folks, this is dope. This is dope. All right. So those of you who are watching the stream are going to see this hopefully now. Oh no! What did I do? I made the boo boo. Yeah. So
Don't tell me you lost it.
I think I lost it. Oh no! Hold on. Anybody else has this already in Super Grok? You go to Super Grok, and no, I lost it. Oh my god! I had a pop up for just like show up for a second that says introducing, and had a button that says try now. And while trying to show you guys, I lost it. But hey, they're gonna announce it pretty soon, so you know, all good, all good. I'm hoping that like some, you know, Super Grok, like Super X Premium Plus, whatever people will get some access to Grok, but we'll see.
I just published a screenshot in the chat of the button I have, which is Super Grok Pro.
Yeah, I'm actually I did take a screenshot at least, so I'm gonna push this as well. I'm gonna post this as well. Let's see if you guys can see. Yeah, so this is the pop-up that I just got. I'm gonna add this to the space, to the top space. So folks, let me know if you go to the Super Grok. I have somebody saying an hour late is insane. What a clown show. And I tend to disagree. I think that like Elon time and Elon live streams an hour late is about as much as we could have expected. Easy. I started this live stream exactly on time, but I knew for a fact that it's gonna like start late. But our friend Swigs there asked if there's a poly market on live stream rack pool. So if you guys think that that's not gonna happen, I don't know, show me thumbs up in the air or something.
I don't know, but if the pricing is at $300, that's bold. Like they're basically coming in hot, saying like we have the best model on the market. Otherwise, they'd have priced it at 150 or something.
Oh, that's a good thinking, man. Yeah, if the pricing is like, but the pricing that high is like for Grok heavy, and I think they're releasing multiple multiple versions of models, not only Grok heavy. So this seems to be like the pricing for the super advanced thing that costs them like a lot of money. Yeah. Oh, we have. What's up, Dan? How are you?
I just got the screen you were talking about, and I see some of the features with Grok 4 now. There's a new thing called context memory. There's also a new thing called enhanced voice with vision mode.
Ooh, let's go.
And then with context memory, you get, if you subscribe to Super Grok, this is the $30 a month tier, you get a default of 128,000 tokens. And then if you do Super Grok Heavy, you get access to new features, and then also dedicated support team, and an additional increased access to Grok 4, Grok 3. Apparently, Grok 4 Heavy is an exclusive model, they're only doing previews right now.
Give us
you want a screenshot of that?
Yes, please. Give us screenshots.
Here we go.
Folks, we have a person here that works for X. What's up, Dan?
Hey, what's up, Alex?
Are you monitoring the situation from far away like all of us, or are you at the place?
No, I'm not in Palo Alto. I'm just at home now.
All right, so you're monitoring with us. All righty.
Rest of you. I did get Grok 4. Do you guys have it on the app yet, or?
So Caleb here has it. I got a notification and I kind of lost it, unfortunately. So we're still waiting. You already have access to Grok 4?
I mean, I just got it. It does the thinking out loud like it did when you were on the Grok app, but internally on the X version of it, which is kind of cool. I do like it still has access to all the conversations from the past, because I've used Grok 3 a lot. So if I lost all that, I would be pretty pissed.
When you say access, you mean you just have them in like the history chat, or does it have access as it knows all of them like ChatGPT?
No, it doesn't know it contextually. You have to like open up the window.
But, I see.
Yeah.
All righty.
Caleb, I just published the screenshot. I just put the screenshot on.
Let's take a look. Let's add this to your folks to the.
There's
chat.
a new image model called Aurora.
Wasn't the previous model also called Aurora or something like this before they changed
I'm
it?
not sure, so that could be the same model.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same name.
Okay, cool.
Exciting, folks. Exciting. Thank you, Caleb.
I'm kind of
for-
jealous now because that new Grok 4 Heavy has its own exclusive model for that $300 a month tier. So I'm only doing the $30 a month one. I can't afford $300 a month. That's half my car bill. But yeah, for those who have early access, they can try that out. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm very interested in like seeing folks with the Pro access for Heavy to try and figure out what they can get from it and what's the difference. Because as I said before, I'm gonna wonder whether or not it's gonna be easy for them to show why folks would register for something like this. I think Mark, you're completely right. If they're pricing it at $300, they probably are very bullish on the fact that they have the best model. So,
What would you test on it, Alex, if you got access?
dude, that's a great question. The vibes. I know it's a sucky answer, but vibes. It's really hard. Like I use O3 Pro for some things, and I know that I have multiple folks in my network that swear by O3 Pro and say that like because of the multiple things that it does, it is better. But you know, I don't think I need that level of intelligence often. XAI just posted, the main account just posted something introducing Grok 4. They're live. Folks are saying they're live, and let me go and refresh then if they're live. I don't see anything live. Oh, they're live. Alrighty, folks. I want to like up the music. Let me know if you can hear the music, everyone.
I think the interesting little thing with the pricing is like with OpenAI, when you pay $200, you don't just get the best model, you get consistent updates, right? Like you'll be first to Codex, first to more deep research. Like you're also paying for early access to stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can just do 300 in a model if it's that good. But anyway, let's watch.
Yeah. I mean, we can keep chatting, folks. I think that you know, the live stream part is going to take a while. It's only the live stream that started. I don't know if it's going to make sense. We can keep chatting. I'm just going to like lower the music a little bit and up it while it starts. But hey, everyone who just tuned in, welcome to our watch party with a bunch of friends here of Grok 4, which is hopefully going to be the best model, at least for a while, the best LLM we can have access to. And that will include, we already confirmed, no, it will include Grok 4 Heavy. Some people already have access to it. Some people can upgrade. The thing that we're all waiting for is them announcing some evaluations, some numbers for us to chew through, and some exciting use cases. Maybe product features, we'll see, of this model. We are live on YouTube, X videos, everywhere. If you want to watch with us and not just listen, feel free to tune into that video stream. I'm going to add this to the top of the space right now. We have around 7,000 folks watching. The official stream has 50,000 people, so we're like 10% of the official stream. Let's go.
Last year it got to like 100,000.
Yeah, it's probably moving slower for me. I'm sure there are like millions of people, millions of bots or whatever, but also people who will tune in. But hey, we have the commentary, so it's also fun here. Some nice music.
Alex, I can't hear the music, by the way.
You cannot hear the music.
I cannot.
I don't hear it at all.
All right, hold on, folks. How about now?
Okay.
Yep, that's a little louder.
You can hear this, right? Confirm? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear it, but it's still pretty quiet.
This is the loudest it goes. Let me know if this works.
I think for the actual live stream, we'd want a little louder. It's quiet.
Even this is quiet?
Pretty quiet.
All right.
It's quiet, but I can hear it.
This is the maximum that it goes. I will lower myself. So for folks on the Twitter stream, I'm gonna lower this a little bit. If this is quiet for you, folks have confirmed that on the video stream, it's fine. So we will. Ooh, folks, we have breaking news. Small breaking news. The Greg Comrade, the guy from Arc Prize, is there. Somebody posted the link to X of Greg Comrade that's supposedly in the office. This means they're gonna show some Arc AGI stuff. Exciting. Let me see. Let me put this up. Greg.
Interesting. Very interesting.
If Greg is there in the flesh, yeah, he said waiting in person. All right.
Let's go.
Let's
That's
go.
exciting.
All right, folks, it's starting. Everybody on mute.
In a world where knowledge shapes destiny, one creation dares to redefine the future. From the minds at XAI, prepare for Grok 4. This summer, the next generation arrives. Faster, smarter, bolder. It sees beyond the horizon, answers the unasked, and challenges the impossible. Grok 4, Unleash the Truth, coming this summer.
All right, welcome to the Grok 4 release here. This is the smartest AI in the world, and we're going to show you exactly how and why. It really is remarkable to see the advancement of artificial intelligence, how quickly it is evolving. I sometimes compare it to the growth of a human and how fast a human learns and gains conscious awareness and understanding. And AI is advancing just vastly faster than any human. I mean, we're going to take you through a bunch of benchmarks that that Grok 4 is able to achieve incredible numbers on. But it's actually worth noting that Grok 4, if given like the SAT, would get perfect SATs every time, even if it's never seen the questions before. And if even going beyond that to say like graduate student exams like the GRE, it will get near perfect results in every discipline of education. So from the humanities to like languages, math, physics, engineering, pick anything, and we're talking about questions that it's never seen before. These are not on the internet, and Grok 4 is smarter than almost all graduate students in all disciplines simultaneously. Like it's actually just important to appreciate that's really something. The reasoning capabilities of Grok are incredible. So there's some people out there who think AI can't reason, and look, it can reason at superhuman levels. So yeah, and frankly, it only gets better from here. So we'll take you through the Grok 4 release, and show you like the pace of progress here. Like I guess the first part is like in terms of the training, we're going from Grok 2 to Grok 3 to Grok 4. We've essentially increased the training by an order of magnitude in each case. So it's 100 times more training than Grok 2, and that's only going to increase. So it's frankly, I mean, I don't know. In some ways, a little terrifying, but the growth of intelligence here is remarkable.
Yes. It's important to realize there are two types of training compute. One is the pre-training compute. That's from Grok 2 to Grok 3. But from Grok 3 to Grok 4, we're actually putting a lot of compute in reasoning in RL.
Yeah, and just like you said, this is literally the fastest moving field. And Grok 2 is like the high school student by today's standard. If we look back in the last 12 months, Grok 2 was only a concept. We didn't even have Grok 2 12 months ago. And then by training Grok 2, that was the first time we scale up like the pre-training. we realized that if you actually do the data ablation really carefully, and the infra, and also the algorithm, we can actually push the pre-training quite a lot by amount of 10x to make the model the best pre-trained base model. And that's why we built Colossus, the world's supercomputer with 100,000 H100. And then with the best pre-trained model, and we realized if you can collect these verifiable outcome reward, you can actually train this model to start thinking from the first principle, start to reason, correct its own mistakes. And that's where the Grok 3 reasoning comes from. And today we ask the question, what happens if you take the expansion of the Colossus with all 200,000 GPUs, put all these into RL, 10x more compute than any of the models out there on reinforcement learning, unprecedented scale, what's going to happen? So this is the story of Grok 4, and Tony, share some insight with the audience.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just talk about how smart Grok 4 is. So I guess we can start discussing this benchmark called Humanities Last Exam. And this benchmark is a very, very challenging benchmark. Every single problem is curated by subject matter experts. It's in total 2,500 problems, and it consists of many different subjects: mathematics, natural sciences, engineering, and also all the humanities subjects. So essentially, when it was first released, actually like earlier this year, most of the models out there can only get single-digit accuracy on this benchmark. Yeah, so we can look at some of those examples. So there is this mathematical problem, which is about natural transformations in category theory. And there's this organic chemistry problem that talks about electrocyclic reactions. And also there's this linguistic problem that tries to ask you about distinguishing between closed and open syllabus from a Hebrew source text. So you can see also it's a very wide range of problems. And every single problem is PhD or even advanced research level problems.
Yeah, I mean, there are no humans that can actually answer these, can get a good score. I mean, if you actually say like any given human, what's the best that any human could score? I mean, I'd say maybe 5% optimistically.
Yeah.
So this is much harder than what any human can do. It's incredibly difficult, and you can see from the types of questions. Like you might be incredible in linguistics or mathematics or chemistry or physics or any one of a number of subjects, but you're not going to be at a postgrad level in everything. And Grok 4 is a postgrad level in everything. Like it's just, some of these things are just worth repeating. Like Grok 4 is postgraduate, like PhD level in everything. Better than PhD, but like most PhDs would fail. So it's better that said, I mean, at least with respect to academic questions, I want to just emphasize this point. With respect to academic questions, Grok 4 is better than PhD level in every subject, no exceptions. Now, this doesn't mean that at times it may lack common sense, and it has not yet invented new technologies or discovered new physics, but that is just a matter of time. Mm-hmm. I think it may discover new technologies as soon as later this year, and I would be shocked if it has not done so next year. So I would expect Grok to, literally discover new technologies that are actually useful no later than next year and maybe end of this year. And it might discover new physics next year. And within 2 years, I'd say almost certainly. So just let that sink in. Yeah.
So okay, so I guess we can talk about what's behind the scene of Grok 4. As Jimmy mentioned, we actually throwing a lot of compute into this training. When it started, it's only also a single digit. Sorry, the previous slide. Sorry. Yeah, it's only a single digit number. But as you start putting in more and more training compute, it started to gradually become smarter and smarter, and eventually solved a quarter of the HLE problems. And this is without any tools. The next thing we did was to adding tools capabilities to the model. And unlike Grok 3, I think Grok 3 actually is able to use CRO as well, but here we actually make it more native in the sense that we put the tools into training. Grok 3 was only relying on generalization. Here, we actually put the tools into training. And it turns out this significantly improves the model's capability of using those tools.
Yeah, I remember we had like deep search back in the days.
Yeah.
So how is this different?
Yeah, exactly. So deep search was exactly the Grok 3 reasoning model, but without any specific training, but we only asked it to use those tools. So compared to this, it was much weaker in terms of its tool capabilities.
And unreliable.
And unreliable, yes, yes.
And to be clear, like these are still, I'd say, this is still fairly primitive tool use. If you compare it to, say, the tools that are used at Tesla or SpaceX, where you're using, finite element analysis and computational fluid dynamics, and you're able to run, or say like Tesla does, like crash simulations, where the simulations are so close to reality that if the test doesn't match the simulation, you assume that the test article is wrong. That's how good the simulations are. So Grok is not currently using any of the tools, the really powerful tools that a company would use, but that is something that we will provide it with later this year. So we'll have the tools that a company has, and have very accurate physics simulator. Ultimately, the thing that'll make the biggest difference is being able to interact with the real world via humanoid robots. So you combine sort of Grok with Optimus, and it can actually interact with the real world and figure out if it can formulate an hypothesis and then confirm if that hypothesis is true or not. So we're really, I think about like where we are today. We're at the beginning of an immense intelligence explosion. We're in the intelligence Big Bang right now. And we're at the most interesting time to be alive of any time in history. Yeah. Now, that said, we need to make sure that the AI is a good AI, good Grok. And the thing that I think is most important for AI safety, at least my biological neural net tells me, the most important thing for AI is to be maximally truth-seeking. So this is a very fundamental. But you can think of AI as this super genius child that ultimately will outsmart you, but you can still you can instill the right values and encourage it to be sort of, truthful, I don't know, honorable, good things like the values you want to instill in a child that would ultimately grow up to be incredibly powerful. Yeah. So yeah, so this is really, I'd say, we say tools. These are still primitive tools, not the kind of tools that serious commercial companies use. But we will provide it with those tools, and I think it will be able to solve, with those tools, real-world technology problems. In fact, I'm certain of it. It's just a question of how long it takes.
Yes, exactly.
So is it just compute all you need, Tony?
Sorry?
Is it just compute all you need at this point?
Well, you need compute plus the right tools, and then ultimately to be able to interact with the physical world.
Yes.
And then, we'll effectively have an economy that is, well, ultimately an economy that is thousands of times bigger than our current economy, or maybe millions of times. If you think of civilization as percentage completion of the Kardashev scale, where Kardashev 1 is using all the energy output of a planet, and Kardashev 2 is using all the energy output of a sun, and 3 is all the energy output of a galaxy. We're only, in my opinion, probably like closer to 1% of Kardashev 1 than we are to 10%. So like maybe a point or 1 or 2% of Kardashev 1. So we will get to most of the way, like 80-90% Kardashev 1, and then hopefully, if civilization doesn't self-annihilate, and then Kardashev 2, like it's the actual notion of a human economy, assuming civilization continues to progress, will seem very quaint in retrospect. It will seem like sort of cavemen throwing sticks into a fire level of economy compared to what the future will hold. I mean, it's very exciting. I mean, I've been at times kind of worried about, like, well, you know, this seems like it's somewhat unnerving to have intelligence created that is far greater than our own. And will this be bad or good for humanity? It's like, I think it'll be good. Most likely it'll be good. Yeah. Yeah. But I somewhat reconciled myself to the fact that even if it wasn't going to be good, I'd at least like to be alive to see it happen. So, yeah.
So, actually, one yeah, I think one technical problem that we still need to solve, besides just compute, is how do we unblock the data bottleneck? Because when we try to scale up the RL, in this case, we did invent a lot of new techniques, innovations, to allow us to figure out how to find a lot of challenging RL problems to work on. It's not just the problem itself needs to be challenging, but also it needs to be, you also need to have like a reliable signal to tell the model, you did it wrong, you did it right. This is the sort of the principle of reinforcement learning. And as the model gets smarter and smarter, the number of cool problems or challenging problems will be less and less.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a new type of challenge that we need to surpass besides just compute. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually are running out of actual test questions to ask. So there's like even questions that are ridiculously hard, if not essentially impossible for humans, that are written down questions, are swiftly becoming trivial for AI. So then there's, but you know, the one thing that is an excellent judge of things is reality. So, because physics is the law, ultimately, everything else is a recommendation. You can't break physics. So the ultimate test, I think, for whether an AI is, the ultimate reasoning test is reality.
Yes.
So you invent a new technology, like say, improve the design of a car or a rocket, or create a new medication that, and does it work?
Yeah.
Does the rocket get to orbit? Does the car drive? Does the medicine work? Whatever the case may be, reality is the ultimate judge here. So it's going to be reinforcement learning, closing the loop around reality.
We asked the question, how do we even go further? So actually, we are thinking about now, with single agent, we're able to solve 40% of the problem. What if we have multiple agents running at the same time? So this is what's called test and compute. And as we scale up the test and compute, actually, we are able to solve almost more than 50% of the text-only subset of the HRE problems.
That's crazy.
So it's a remarkable achievement, I think. Yeah,
this is insanely difficult. These are so what we're saying is like a majority of the text-based of humanities, you know, scarily named humanities last exam, Grok 4 can solve, and you can try it out for yourself. And with the Grok 4 Heavy, what it does is it spawns multiple agents in parallel, and all of those agents do work independently, and then they compare their work, and they decide which one. Like it's like a study group, and it's not as simple as a majority vote, because often only one of the agents actually figures out the trick, or figures out the solution. But once they share the trick or figure out what the real nature of the problem is, they share that solution with the other agents, and then they essentially compare notes, and then yield an answer. So that's the heavy part of Grok 4 is where you scale up the test time compute by roughly an order of magnitude, have multiple agents tackle the task, and then they compare their work, and they put forward what they think is the best result.
Yeah. So we will introduce Grok 4 and Grok 4 Heavy. Sorry, can you click the next slide?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, Grok 4 is a single agent version, and Grok 4 Heavy is the multi-agent version. So let's take a look how they actually do on those exam problems and also some real life problems.
Yeah. So we're going to start out here, and we're actually going to look at one of those HLE problems. This is actually one of the easier math ones. I don't really understand it very well. I'm not that smart, but I can launch this job here, and we can actually see how it's going to go through and start to think about this problem. While we're doing that, I also want to show a little bit more about what this model can do and launch a Grok 4 Heavy as well. So everyone knows Polymarket. It's extremely interesting. It's the seeker of truth. It aligns with what reality is most of the time. And with Grok, what we're actually looking at is being able to see how we can try to take these markets and see if we can predict the future as well. So as we're letting this run, we'll see how Grok 4 Heavy goes about predicting the World Series odds for the current teams in the MLB. And while we're waiting for these to process, we're going to pass it over to Eric, and he's going to show you an example of his.
Yeah. So I guess one of the coolest things about Grok 4 is its ability to understand the world and to solve hard problems by leveraging tools like Tony discussed. And I think one kind of cool example of this, we asked it to generate a visualization of two black holes colliding. And of course, it took there are some liberties. It's, in my case, actually pretty clear in its thinking trace about what these liberties are. For example, in order for it to actually be visible, you need to really exaggerate the scale of the waves. And yeah, so here's this kind of in action. It exaggerates the scale in multiple ways. It drops off a bit less in terms of amplitude over distance, and but yeah, we can kind of see the basic effects that are actually correct. It starts with the in spiral, it merges, and then you have the ring down, and this is basically largely correct. Modulo some of the simplifications that need to do. It's actually quite explicit about this. It uses post-Newtonian approximations instead of actually computing the general relativistic effects at near the center of the black hole, which is incorrect, and will lead to some incorrect results. But the overall visualization is basically there. And you can actually look at the kinds of resources that it references. So here it actually, it obviously uses search. It gathers results from a bunch of links, but also reads through a undergraduate text in analytic gravitational wave models. It reasons quite a bit about the actual constants that it should use for a realistic simulation. It references, I guess, existing real-world data, and it's a pretty good model.
But actually going forward, we can give it the same model that physicists use, so it can run the same level of compute that leading physics researchers are using, and give you a physics accurate black hole simulation.
Exactly.
Just right now it's running in your browser, so.
Yeah, this is just running in your browser.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty simple.
So swapping back real quick here, we can actually take a look. The math problem is finished. The model was able to, let's look at its thinking trace here so you can see how it went through the problem. I'll be honest with you guys, I really don't quite fully understand the math, but what I do know is that I looked at the answer ahead of time, and it did come to the correct answer here in the final part here. We can also come in and actually take a look here at our World Series prediction, and it's still thinking through on this one. But we can actually try some other stuff as well. So we can actually like try some of the X integrations that we did. So we worked very heavily on working with all of our X tools and building out a really great X experience. So we can actually ask, the model, find me the XAI employee that has the weirdest profile photo. So that's going to go off and start that. And then we can actually try out, let's create a timeline based on X post detailing the changes in the scores over time, and we can see all the conversation that was taking place at that time as well. So we can see who were the announcing scores and like what was the reactions at those times as well. So we'll let that go through here and process. And if we go back to this was the Greg Yang photo here. So if we scroll through here, whoops. So Greg Yang, of course, who has his favorite photograph that he has on his account. That's actually not how he looks like in real life, by the way, just so you're aware, but it is quite funny.
But it had to understand that question.
Yeah.
Which is that's the wild part. It's like it understands what is a weird photo. What is a weird photo?
Yeah.
What is a less or more weird photo?
It goes through, it has to find all the team members, it has to figure out who we all are. It,
right.
Searches
this
X.
is without access to the internal XAI personnel logs.
No.
It's literally looking at just at the internet.
Exactly.
So you could say like the weirdest of any company.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Exactly. And we can also take a look here at the question here for the humanities last exam. So it is still researching all of the historical scores, but it will have that final answer here soon. But we can, while it's finishing up, we can take a look at one of the ones that we set up here a second ago. And we can see like, it finds the date that like Dan Hendricks initially announced it. We can go through, we can see, OpenAI announcing their score back in February. And we can see, as progress happens with like Gemini, we can see like Kimi, and we can also even see, the leaked benchmarks of what people are saying is, if it's right, it's going to be pretty impressive. So pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody uses these tools and gets the most value out of them. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, and we're going to close the loop around usefulness as well. So it's like, it's not just book smart, but actually practically smart.
Exactly. And we can go back to the slides here, yeah. So.
Cool. So we actually evaluate also on the multimodal subset. So on the full set, this is the number on the HLE exam. You can see there's a little dip on the numbers. This is actually something we're improving on, which is the multimodal understanding capabilities. But I do believe in a very short time, we're able to really improve and got much higher numbers on this, even higher numbers on this benchmark. Yeah.
Yeah, this is we still like what is the biggest weakness of Grok currently is that it's sort of partially blind. It can't, its image understanding, obviously, and its image generation needs to be a lot better. And that's actually being trained right now. So Grok 4 is based on version 6 of our foundation model, and we are training version 7, which will complete in a few weeks. And that'll address the weakness on the vision side.
Mm-hmm. And just to show off this last here, so the prediction market finished here with a heavy, and we can see here, we can see all the tools and the process it used to actually go through and find the right answer. So it browsed a lot of odds sites. It calculated its own odds comparing to the market to find its own alpha and edge. It walks you through the entire process here, and it calculates the odds of the winner being like the Dodgers, and it gives them a 21.6% chance of winning this year. So, and it took approximately 4.5 minutes to compute.
Yeah, that's a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
We can also look at all the other benchmarks besides HLE. As it turned out, Grok 4 excelled on all the reasoning benchmarks that people usually test on, including GBQA, which is a PhD level problem sets. That's easier compared to HLE. On AMI 25, American Invitation Mathematics exam, with Grok 4 Heavy, we actually got a perfect score. Also on some of the coding benchmark called Live Coding Bench, and also on HMMT, Harvard Math, MIT exam, and also USAMO. You can see actually on all of those benchmarks, we often have a very large leap against the second best model out there.
Yeah, I mean, really, we're going to get to the point where it's going to get every answer right in every exam. And where it doesn't get an answer right, it's going to tell you what's wrong with the question. Or if the question is ambiguous, disambiguate the question into answers A, B, and C and tell you what answers A, B, and C would be with a disambiguated question. So the only real test then will be reality. Can it make useful technologies, discover new science? That'll actually be the only thing left, because human tests will simply not be meaningful.
Yeah, we need to make an update to HLE very soon, given the current rate of progress. So yeah, it's super cool to see like multiple agents that collaborate with each other, solving really challenging problems. So we're going to try this model. So it turned out it's available right now. If we advance to the next slide, where there is a super Grok Heavy tiers that we're introducing, where you're able to access to both Grok 4 and Grok 4 Heavy, where you're actually going to be the taskmaster of a bunch of little Grok research agents to help you, become smarter, do all the little research, and save hours of time of, going through mundane tasks. And it's available right now.
So we did limit usage during the demo, so it didn't break the demo, because all this stuff is happening live. So there's nothing canned about any of the tests that we're doing. So after the demo is done, we'll enable more subscribers for SuperGrok. So if you can't subscribe right now, just try in half an hour. It should work. Okay. And now let's get into voice.
Great. Abby? So many of you have been enjoying our voice mode, and we've been working hard to improve the experience over the past couple months. We have cut latency in half to make it much snappier. And today we're excited to announce a set of new voices that have exceptional naturalness and prosody. You might have noticed the movie trailer voice that opened up the live stream. That is one of our new voices, Sal, who's got that epically deep tone. And we're also excited to introduce Eve, a beautiful British voice who's capable of rich emotions. Aman, would you like to introduce Eve?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get into the demo. Hey, Eve. Millions of people are watching us right now. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm thrilled, really. It's like being on stage at the Old Vic with a sea of faces out there. Just imagine all those eyes and ears tuned in. It's a proper buzz, isn't it? What do you reckon we should chat about to keep this lot entertained?
We have a lot to talk about, but I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little nervous. Can you whisper something soothing to calm me down?
Take a deep breath, love. You've got this. It's just you and me, having a quiet chat, like we're tucked away in a cozy corner of a Yorkshire pub. The world's just a murmur out there. Feel that calm wash over you. Let's keep talking, nice and easy. What's on your mind?
You know what? I'm actually feeling quite relaxed to try this something crazy. So can you give us an opera on Diet Coke?
Oh, an opera on Diet Coke. That's a riot. Picture this, a shimmering silver can, glistening under stage lights. Oh, Diet Coke, thou elixir divine, with bubbles that dance in a sparkling line. Thy crisp, cool kiss on lips so fine. Oh, aspartame, ambrosia, forever mine. How's that for a mad little aria? Want me to belt out another verse or switch up the tune?
Okay, let's try switching it up and just start singing.
Right then, let's have a go. Oh, silver can, you gleam in the light. Diet Coke, my heart's delight.
Okay, I won't touch it. It's very, very poetic. Yeah, thank you. Feeling quite nice now.
Cool. So that's Eve. And so something else we do here is a little test each day to check on the natural flow of our conversations against some of our competitors. So we figured why not try that live on the stream today.
Should I start? Hey, I'm going to say a number, and can you say the same number back to me? 1.
1, got it. This is like a fun little game of echo. What's next?
2. Sorry, I said 2. 3.
3. 4, nice and steady. What's next?
5.
5, nailed it. This is pretty fun, actually. Feel free to keep going or switch it up if you'd like.
Hey, Grok. Hey, Grok.
Hello there. How can I help you today?
We're going to do a little test. Can you repeat after me? 1.
1. All right. What's next?
2.
2. What's on your mind?
3.
3. Need anything else?
4.
4. How can I assist you?
5.
5. What's next?
So as you can see, Grok was snappier. It didn't interrupt me. And the prosody is we've made different design choices. I think we're shooting for something more calm, smooth, more natural, versus something that's more poppy or artificial. So we'll keep improving on these fronts.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. So since the launch of the voice model, we actually see the 2x faster end-to-end latency in the last 8 weeks, 5 different voices, and also 10x the active user. So Grok Voice is taking off. Now, if you think about releasing the models, this time we're also releasing Grok 4 through the API at the same time. So if we go to the next 2 slides, so we're very excited about what all developers out there is going to build. So if I think about myself as a developer, what the first thing I'm going to do when I actually have access to the Grok 4 API? Benchmarks. So we actually ask around on the X platform, what is the most challenging benchmarks out there that is considered the holy grail for all the AGI models? So turned out AGI is in the name, Arc AGI. So the last 12 hours, kudos to Greg over here in the audience. So who answered our call, take a preview of the Grok 4 API, and independently verified the Grok 4's performance. So initially we thought, hey, Grok 4 is just, we think it's pretty good, it's pretty smart. It's our next gen reasoning model, spend 10x more compute, can use all the tools, right? But turned out, when we actually verify on the private subset of the Arc AGI v2, it was like the only model in the last 3 months that breaks the 10% barrier. And in fact, it was so good that I actually get to 16%, well, 15.8% accuracy, 2x of the second place, that is the Cloud 4 Opus model. And it's not just about performance, right? When you think about intelligence, having an API model drives your automation. It's also the intelligence per dollar, right? If you look at the plots over here, the Grok is just 4 is just in the league of its own. All right, so enough of benchmarks over here, right? So what can Grok do actually in the real world? So we actually contacted the folks from Endon Labs who were gracious enough to try the Grok in the real world to run a business.
Yeah, thanks for having us. So I'm Axel from Endon Labs.
And I'm Lucas, and we tested Grok 4 on Vending Bench. Vending Bench is an AI simulation of a business scenario where we thought, what is the most simple business an AI could possibly run? And we thought vending machines. So in this scenario, the Grok and other models need to do stuff like manage inventory, contact suppliers, set prices. All of these things are super easy, and all the models can do them one by one. But when you do them over very long horizons, most models struggle. But we have a leaderboard, and there's a new number one.
Yeah, so we got early access to the Grok 4 API. We ran it on the vending bench, and we saw some really impressive results. So it ranks definitely at the #1 spot. It's even double the net worth, which is the measure that we have on this eval. So it's not about the percentage on or a score you get, but it's more the dollar value in net worth that you generate. So we were impressed by Grok. It was able to formulate a strategy and adhere to that strategy over a long period of time, much longer than other models that we have tested, other frontier models. So it managed to run the simulation for double the time and score, double the net worth. And it was also really consistent across these runs, which is something that's really important when you want to use this in the real world.
And I think as we give more and more power to AI systems in the real world, it's important that we test them in scenarios that either mimic the real world or are in the real world itself. Because otherwise we fly blind into some things that might not be great.
Yeah, it's great to see that we've now got a way to pay for all those GPUs. So we just need 1 million vending machines.
Definitely.
And we could make $4.7 billion a year with 1 million vending machines.
100%.
Let's go.
They can be epic vending machines.
Yes, yes.
All right. We are actually going to install vending machines here, like a lot of them.
We're happy to supply them.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what amazing things are in this vending machine.
That's for you to decide.
All right.
I'll tell the AI.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Yeah. I mean, so we can see like Grok is able to become like the co-pilot of the business unit. So what else can Grok do? So we're actually releasing this Grok. If you want to try it right now to evaluate, run the same benchmark as us. It's on the API. Has 256K contact length. So we already actually see some of the early adopters to try Grok 4 API. So our Palo Alto neighbor, Arc Institute, which is a leading biomedical research center, is already seeing like how can they automate their research flows with Grok 4. It turned out it's able to help the scientists to sniff through millions of experiments logs and then just like pick the best hypothesis within a split of seconds. We see this as being used for their the CRISPR research, and also Grok 4 independently evaluated scores as the best model to examine the chest X-ray. Who would know? In the financial sector, we also see the Grok 4 with access to all the tools, real-time information is actually one of the most popular AIs out there. So our Grok 4 is also going to be available on the hyperscalers. So the XAI enterprise sector is only started 2 months ago, and we're open for business. So the other thing, we talked a lot about having Grok to make games, video games. So Danny is actually a video game designer on X. So we mentioned, hey, who want to try out some Grok 4 preview APIs to make games? And Danny answered the call. So this was actually just made first-person shooting game in a span of 4 hours. So some of the unappreciated hardest problem of making video games is not necessarily encoding the core logic of the game, but actually go out, source all the assets, all the textures of files, and to create a visually appealing game. So one of the core aspects Grok 4 does really well with all the tools out there is actually able to automate these asset sourcing capabilities. So the developers can just focus on the core development itself rather than so now you can run a entire game studios with game of one with one person, and then you can have Grok 4 to go out and source all those assets, do all the mundane tasks for you.
Yeah. The next step obviously is for Grok to be able to play the game. So it has to have very good video understanding, so it can play the games and interact with the games and actually assess whether a game is fun and actually have good judgment for whether a game is fun or not. So with version 7 of our foundation model, which finishes training this month, and then we'll go through post-training RL and whatnot, that will have excellent video understanding. And with with video understanding and improved tool use. For example, for video games, you'd want to use, Unreal Engine or Unity or one of the main graphics engines, and then generate the art, apply it to a 3D model, and then create an executable that someone can run on a PC or a console or a phone. Like we expect that to happen probably this year, and if not this year, certainly next year. So that's it's going to be wild. I would expect the first really good AI video game to be next year, and probably the first half hour of watchable TV this year, and probably the first watchable AI movie next year. Like, things are really moving at an incredible pace.
Yeah, when Grok is 10xing the world economy with vending machines, it would just create video games for human.
Yeah, I mean, it went from not being able to do any of this really even 6 months ago to what you're seeing before you here, and from very primitive a year ago to making a sort of a 3D video game with a few hours of prompting.
Yep. I mean, yeah, just to recap, so in today's live stream, we introduced the most powerful, most intelligent AI models out there that can actually reason from the first principle using all the tools, do all the research, go on the journey for 10 minutes, come back with the most correct answer for you. So it's kind of crazy to think about, just like 4 months ago, we had Grok 3, and now we already have Grok 4. And we're going to continue to accelerate as a company, XAI. We're going to be the fastest moving AGI companies out there. So what's coming next is that we're going to continue developing the model that's not just intelligent, smart, think for a really long time, spend a lot of compute, but having a model that actually both fast and smart is going to be the core focus, right? So if you think about what are the applications out there that can really benefit from all those very intelligent, fast, and smart models, and coding is actually one of them.
Yeah, so the team is currently working very heavily on coding models. I think right now the main focus is we actually trained recently a specialized coding model, which is going to be both fast and smart. And I believe we can share with that model with you guys, with all of you in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And the second after coding is we all see the weakness of Grok 4 is the multimodal capability. So in fact, it was so bad that Grok effectively just like looking at the world, squinting through the glass, and like see all the blurry features and trying to make sense of it. The most immediate improvement we're going to see with the next generation pre-trained model is that we're going to see a step function improvement on the model's capability in terms of the image understanding, video understanding, and audios. Right? It's now the model is able to hear and see the world just like any of you. Right? And now with all the tools at its command, with all the other agents it can talk to, so we're going to see a huge unlock for many different application layers. After the multimodal agents, what's going to come after is the video generation, and we believe that at the end of the day, it should just be pixel in, pixel out, and imagine a world where you have this infinite scroll of content in inventory on the X platform, where not only you can actually watch these generated videos, but able to intervene, create your own adventures. The future is going to be wild.
And we expect to be training our video model with over 100,000 GB200s, and to begin that training within the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we're confident it's going to be pretty spectacular in video generation and video understanding. So let's see. So that's anything you guys want to say? Other than that, I guess that's it.
Yeah, it's a good model, sir.
Good model.
It's a good, yeah.
Well, we're very excited for you guys to try Grok 4.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Alrighty, folks, it looks like we're at the end of this Very long live stream. Thoughts, immediate thoughts. We got the best. Let's do a quick summary, super quick, with those of us who are still here. We've got from XAI the smartest model in the world, beating O3 on both like multiple benchmarks, including ArcAGI. That was very impressive. Not multimodal yet, but very, very impressive. LDJ, Vibu, Robert, what are your thoughts?
Awesome.
How'd you? I want to say some of the evaluations are definitely kind of like it's hard to get the feel of the model based on these evals, but the few things we got was HLE, Humanities Last Exam, with just incredible scores. Back when that eval just came out, folks were saying, no company is going to break out the 10%, and they got like incredible scores on this one. LDJ, what are your thoughts, immediate thoughts on this release? What stood out to you?
Yeah.
Breaking up a little bit.
I think it's really interesting. I'm glad that they showed you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. I think there's a pretty massive delay based on how long it took me to say that and then your response. So maybe better to let others talk for now.
All right. Vibu, what you got for us?
Ooh, I think it's interesting how much they scaled up. So they went orders of magnitude up, and then they put out this chart. How much of it is actually RL?
Yeah.
They're known to mess these charts a little, but if
chart
they
crimes,
actually
they're known for their chart crimes.
Chart crimes, horrible chart crimes.
Yeah.
But if they did as much RL as they did pre-training, that's pretty crazy. Like if you look at the other reasoning models that we have, the papers that actually explain how much data they do. So like Magistral from Mistral, right? Their reasoning data set, they start with like 700,000 math samples. They filter it out to 50K. Same with code. They have 50,000 samples, like 100,000 samples. Now, sure, RL is like more compute expensive, right? Like you have to host both inference for multiple rollouts and training, but those are on the order of like nothing compared to as much compute required for pre-training. So very, very interesting if they could significantly scale up the RL.
RL stands for reinforcement learning. This is what all the labs are doing to make their model better after the kind of the pre-training for folks who are listening and are not as familiar with this. And I'm showing this on the live stream. So Grok 3 reasoning had, I don't know. The chart crimes are crazy. I can't even cite because the y-axis is not labeled. But I don't know. They had a little bit of RL. They put RL as like a yellow thingy, and it looks based on the chart right now that for Grok 4 reasoning, they 10x just the RL part. So it seems that the basic model is the same. Is that the way you read this as well, Vivo? Kind of like based on this.
The chart shows that half of the training is pre-training, half of it is RL.
Yeah.
So half the compute thrown at it. So they went 2 orders of magnitude scale up, right? So from Grok 2 to Grok 3 to Grok 4.
Yeah.
In this case, if half the compute is pre-training, half RL, that's a huge scale up. But I think even if you don't read into the graph too much, it's like pretty impressive how much they could scale up. And like, what is it then? Like, is it verifiable data? Like right now, all the labs are just doing RL on verifiable code and math. Did they have other verifiable data? Do they have a lot of math and code? How do they do it? But it's very cool how much they could just RL out.
That's an insane scale up amount. I would say
model good. Artificial analysis has a good breakdown. It's also like not that expensive. They kept the cost the same, so it's like Claude 3 Sonnet level pricing, but better than Opus, better than O3. It's kind of slow though.
You mean the API?
The API, yeah. So look at artificial analysis, their Twitter. They benchmarked it. They had early access. I'll link it in this thread.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
It's good to go through. Yeah, it's really good, but it's the same cost. It's kind of slow though. I don't know if you want to go through this.
Yeah, I'm taking a look live on stream as well. Artificial analysis posted their kind of benchmark as well. this model gets 73, a jump from 67 on Grok 3 Mini with reasoning, and now this is the model that takes the top place on artificial analysis with like 73 on their artificial analysis index with 256K token context window. So we're not getting the millions that we're used to from from Gemini, but definitely 256 is impressive. And it's ahead of Cloud 4 Sonnet, Cloud 4 Opus at 200 tokens. O3 is at 200 tokens, and R1 from DeepSeek is 128. They mentioned something about this model not being multimodal heavy. Did you guys catch that? Go ahead, LDJ. Welcome back. Let's see if you're here with us. I cannot hear you.
I can't hear him either.
No, LDJ. Come on the StreamYard. Let me send you a link, folks, while we handle these issues. So absolutely, we got like the best model in the world. We also got a superior tier pricing at $300, which is kind of crazy for something called Grok 4 Heavy, which they told us what it is. Did you notice they said it's a multi-agent system, which kind of like does multiple things. It's kind of similar to O3 Pro, I'm assuming.
No. So multi-agent, they said that they spin off multiple agents, and sometimes like some of those get the correct answer. This is different than the consensus at 64 benchmark, right? Consensus, we talked about it earlier. It's basically where you try 64 generations and you take the average response. So like, is the average correct? But this is like different agents with maybe different prompts, different like scaffolds, whatever they are, and some of them might start to get it right, and then there's like a little bit of a performance bump in this. It's interesting. There were the Cognition and Anthropic had opposing articles every other day. Cognition was like, don't build multi-agent, which was fair for their use case. It adds complexity. Anthropic was like, here's our multi-agent system. It's deep research. There's a lot of parallel stuff happening, parallel exploration. It makes sense. So their heavy model is basically a parallel run of different agents trying the same task. And I think Elon was like, sometimes the benefit to that is that one of them gets to the right solution while the others don't explore it.
Wait, sometimes one of them gets the right solution?
Yeah, where the others don't explore it.
Oh,
Although
I see.
someone correct me if I misheard this, but like, let's say they have different exploration paths and they take slightly different plans. One of them might end up on the right answer. And like you can see that with like a slight performance boost.
Yeah. Let's see if we got LDJ with us. LDJ. Let's see if you have.
Yep. Testing 1, 2, 3.
There we go, folks, in the space. If you can hear the other guest, please give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you're coming through.
Yes, he's good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was going to mention artificial analysis. They just put out results for Grok 4. Apparently, I guess they already tested it. And yeah, it's the new #1 in their artificial analysis index, scoring 72%. And it's just like a couple of percent above second place, but still cool.
Yeah. They also added pricing there. So Grok 4 pricing is equivalent to Grok 3. $3 in and $15 out on 1 million input tokens. And they have a caching system as well there. Identical to Cloud 4 Sonnet, but more expensive than Gemini 2.5 Pro. That's obvious because Google is a loss leader and can absolutely maintain those boundaries. But identical to Cloud 4 Sonnet, though not a coding model, folks. We didn't get a coding model, not one benchmark that I saw based on coding, right? Nothing from this. They said it's coming later.
Yeah, they put out their timeline. It's interesting that $300 plan gets you early access, and now you have a bit of a timeline. So, coding model, multi-agent model, and then video
generation. Yep.
So soon, but then they did talk about.
Yeah, they said.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
DJ go and then Vibo.
Okay. Yeah, they said coding model coming in August, and then multimodal agent September, and video generation model October.
Yeah. Somebody in the comment told us that they had live code bench. I haven't seen. Oh yeah, they have live code bench there. Yeah, thank you, commenters. Live code bench, which is a coding model. Grok 4 Heavy is at 79%. Grok 4 is at 79%. Also, which is very interesting. Between the Heavy and the Grok 4, there's only like 0.1% difference. Grok 4 with no tooling is 79. Gemini 2.5 Pro is in 74. So all of the three Grok 4 models at Live Code Bench specifically are beating Gemini. But they said it's not a coding model. So gotta be very interesting why they decided not to kind of like highlight the fact that it's a coding model. I'm gonna put this up on the stream for folks.
I think a bit of the difference there. So like every reasoning model is somewhat a coding model, right? Like the verifiable data that we have is code with tests and if code compiles. So they're all kind of reasoning models. The one thing that they said in the stream specifically was the coding model they trained is optimized for like low latency, right?
Mhm.
So think like a cursor style agent that you can, use real time. Like this thing, if you look at the artificial analysis, the latency is pretty bad in throughput. They optimized a lot on like time to first token, cutting that first latency, but then the code model is probably just whether it's a distill or it's something optimized for like coding copilot, That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can call a model not a code model. They're trained on a lot of code now.
I will say we have folks commenting that the chart crimes continue, and folks are saying that Sonnet is the same one. So Sonnet on Live Code Bench is also around 79. I need to double check this, but the fact that they didn't have Sonnet in here, it's kind of a chart crime. So we're seeing chart crimes left and right here. I will go and confirm. Live Code Bench. What else are we seeing? We did see that they got a perfect saturated score for AI Me 25. So that's Math Olympiad at the Olympiadic level, 2025. So hopefully they didn't train this. But folks, a perfect round 100. Grok 4 Heavy answered all of the questions in the Math Olympiad with perfect score, which is it's kind of crazy that AI Me 25 is fully saturated.
Well, Grok 4 Heavy did. So
Yeah.
multiple agents got 100%.
And
But,
Grok 4 regular one is 98, and 03 is also 98. So very
Yeah.
close, yeah.
The interesting perspective is when you see O3 is also a 98,
Yeah, that's true. But a perfect 100 though. That's kind of impressive. AGI, folks. Yeah, let's talk about AGI, Arc AGI. We got a confirmation from Greg Comrade, the president of Arc AGI, that he was actually there. And let's take a look at his responses. He said, we got a call from XAI 24 hours ago. We want to test Grok 4 on Arc AGI. We didn't know it would become the #1 public model on Arc AGI. He put up the testing story. He walked them through their testing policy, no data retention. Model checkpoint must be intended for public use. So it's not like a custom model for ArcAGI and something is, for everybody else. And he says what the results mean. Grok is not the top performing publicly available model on ArcAGI. This even outperforms purpose-built solutions on Kaggle. ArcAGI 2 is hard for current AI models. To score well, models have to learn a mini skill set. Previous top score was 8% by Opus 4. Below 10% is noisy. I'm not sure what he means by noisy. Grok 4 got 15.9% on Arc 2, the new one. The first model breaking the noise barrier, breaking the 10% noise barrier, which is very impressive because this is a hard benchmark. And you can see how much of an outlier it is on this chart. And ArcAGI do not commit chart crimes, so it's a very, very impressive task. And also for cost per task, because they also measure via the API how much it costs. It's on the cost per task, it's around the same as Cloud Opus, so way cheaper than O3 Pro and O3 Preview, which were at around $1,000 per tasks. And Grok 4 gets 15-16% on AGI. This is a very smart model, sir. Very smart model.
I think on that cost per task, an interesting thing to think about with reasoning models is how much they think before outputting, right? Like the DeepSeek update of June essentially had it think for twice as long, so it can reason twice as long. In this case, they expanded that access by doing multiple agents of test time compute, right? So they added like in that sense, but just in general, like the thing that would be interesting is how many tokens do they use, even on just like the regular benchmarks or artificial analysis. How much does this thing think compared to other models?
Yeah. LDJ, you sent me a different screenshot for ArcAGI. You want to walk through this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly self-explanatory, but here you
Sure.
see
For folks who are not watching us, yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, so there's two columns for ArcAGI 1 and ArcAGI 2 scores, and you could just see here that third place is O3 high, second place is Claude Opus 4 with thinking. I guess 16K is the longest it could think for, and Grok 4 thinking, and Grok 4 in first place here with 66.7% in ArcAGI 1. Right behind that is technically O3 high at 60.8%. And then for ArcAGI 2, second place is 8.6% for Cloud Opus 4. And then you have Grok 4 thinking, which is 16.2%. That's basically double.
Yeah, double. So on the second, much harder version of ArcAGI, that's not saturated. It feels like the first one is getting close to saturated because of 66%. O3 is at 60. Grok 4 is. Folks, I gotta pause here and just say we were speculating what we're gonna get from the XAI team. They knocked it out of the park with this model. This is obviously scale is all you need, and the scale the ARL twice, etc., 10 times the previous one. But this is by far the best, kind of at least on benches, the best model that we could use right now, the best intelligence model that we can use right now on all of the most important benchmarks, on ArcAGI, on artificial analysis, on multiple things. I noticed a few things there. I don't know, folks, if you notice as well. It uses tools while thinking, so that's definitely not something that happened before. And they mentioned this on the stream as well, that tool use is now built into the training process. And using tools while you're thinking is a definitely like very impressive thing because it improves your results. One thing that I tested is we on the ThursdAI podcast stream that we do every Thursday, we're gonna do one tomorrow as well. Welcome to join us. We always test on a subset of difficult for models reasoning questions from Simple Bench. So shout out to Explain the AI Simple benchmark. And one of those questions has to do with like real world scenarios. And I went to Grok and I asked the Grok 4 about this ice cube question. And Grok 4 started reasoning about this correctly. One thing that I noticed is it doesn't give you reasoning tokens anymore. So they give summaries, only summaries. Let's actually take a look at this. Why are we just chatting? X.com. Let me see if I can. No, that's not this one. Yeah, so we go to Grok 4. I don't have Grok 4 here. Let me pull this up. Just give me 1 second, folks. I will pull this up. So X.com. And we have reasoning summaries instead of reasoning full traces, which I think we had previously. And if I remember correctly, and LJ, maybe help me if I'm wrong here, because we watched the Grok 3 release, and back then they said they're going to show us like the full reasoning streams. That has gone away. So if we do the same question again, the question is basically a confusing question with a trick to get LLMs to start calculating math. But basically the question is, how many ice cubes remain whole after 4 minutes in the frying pan? That's the basics of the question, and there's multiple things there that say that confuse the models to start calculating. This model super quickly start thinking, and you can see for folks who are watching us, the reasoning traces are basically marked down, formatted. So we're getting summaries, like in OpenAI and like in Google recently, that also switched to reasoning summaries versus raw thinking, which is not fun because we like the raw traces. And you can see the model is not super fast, but fairly fast and goes. The funny thing that I noticed super quick is at some point, it's in its tool use, the model decided to go on the web and search for answers to this question. and they found it because this is a public subset. It exists on simplebench.com. So it actually went to Reddit, asked Reddit whether it's right in its answer. Yeah, it does it right now on the stream as well. It says searching for blah blah blah, searching for similar puzzles, and the search results show there's a question from Simplebench, a benchmark, and it goes to Simplebench to try to figure out this answer. So that's what's happening live right now. It's really, really funny that, like all the PhDs, it's not only answering some stuff, it also goes and like browses. I wonder if we can turn this off. Yeah, it looks like I can like turn this off in settings, the web search, and then see. But to me, it was really funny. It found the right answer. Obviously, the right answer exists on Reddit, but it also reasoned about the right answer. What else we have, folks? This is the officially most like performant model in the world. We also have an update to the voice. I saw, at least on my feed, that many folks didn't really like the voicey things. What's your reaction, folks, for the voice updates? The voice things, that's definitely a shout across the bow for OpenAI because their voice models don't sing. They also talk about they took a different approach with prosody, but I saw many folks don't like it. LDJ, go ahead.
Yeah, it seems like Sesame, I feel like Sesame is still better than this, it sounds like. And
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT voice is still maybe a little bit better than this as well. But there is just, I don't know, I guess they said it was around August, I want to say, and the roadmap they showed when they want to have a multimodal agent. And I guess maybe that will involve perhaps more integrated multimodal architecture. I'm not sure exactly what that would imply. But yeah, hopefully that ends up also getting better over the next few months.
Yeah, I will say Sesame is good, but the kind of the model it's connected to is not as smart. Like this is connected to Grok 4, which is, you know, we're getting an incredibly like smart model connected to his voice, and the speed reaction is also good. I don't know if they succeeded in showing what they wanted to show, that they're much faster than OpenAI, because to me it felt pretty much the same. Maybe Grok was a little bit faster in the repeat after me thing. The thing that I thought about while doing this is that the voice activation detection thing, the feature where the LLM knows when you stop talking and then it's able to interrupt you. OpenAI has famously the semantic voice activation detection. So OpenAI's model tries to figure out whether you stop talking before, which adds a little bit of a delay, but it's much smarter in not interrupting you. So I haven't played with the voice model. I don't know if we can play right now because we're cross streaming, but it could be just a feature of, you know, their voice activation detection is just faster. So we're gonna see. I will say that I ran just now another thing, and I think we can almost conclude the stream soon, folks. We're like at 2 hours and 20 minutes with over 10,000 people here watching. I just ran my question again, and I cancel. Like I turned off. You guys can see on the stream. I turned off web search, and it still does web search. So not everything is perfect in Grokland. It feels like some of the web features are still not fleshed out because I turned off the web's search for sure, and it still went ahead and did it. So it didn't ask me. So I hope the model is not getting rogue. Anything else we want to cover? Yeah, I want to cover the vending bench. Did you guys see this? Any comments on this? So for folks who are listening, vending bench is a very interesting benchmark from these folks called Endon Labs. And recently, today I read an article from Anthropic, where Anthropic basically set up a vending machine in the Anthropic offices and let Claude run this machine. And by run this machine, I mean let Claude be the manager for this machine, including which snacks to order, including access to tools like email to order the wholesaler to come and restock the machine, and then access to Slack to the Anthropic employees. So basically, it's very interesting. Go read about this. And I was very surprised. Just today I read about this like vending bench, and basically the whole point of this benchmark is to see how much money will the model make by running this vending machine. And yeah, and it looks like a significant jump. So Grok 4, which also the folks from Endon Labs actually were on stream, Grok 4 got twice as much net worth from the vending machine than Opus 4, and sold 4,500 units of vending stuff, where Cloud Opus 4 sold 1,400. So in the original one, I have folks commenting here on the stream. In the kind of the Anthropic one, if you go and read the research, the Anthropic employees ordered tungsten cubes from the vending machine of snacks, and then kind of like tricked it into doing some discounts for Anthropic employees. It's actually a very interesting read, including some creepy stuff that happens where the model, Claude model, not Grok, Claude model has a crisis of faith in itself, or like identity crisis. It's kind of crazy, but very interesting. The Grok vending machine got made a business. So definitely check out Vending Bench. I was very happy to see those folks because real life kind of benches like this, I think are super cool. We've we talked about how even Humanity Last Exam is getting saturated. So harder and harder. And I think LDJ, do you know this, Vibo? Elon Musk mentioned in the beginning, like, we're running out of questions to ask these models to show how good they are. So that's very interesting. And Elon Musk basically said the actual test is real world. And so Vending Bench is a very interesting approach like this. And yeah, this model excels on Vending Bench as well.
Yeah, I think another good. Yeah, sorry.
LDJ, go ahead, and then Vibo.
Okay, all right. I think another good example of real-world tests, which also are not very saturated yet, is things like computer use benchmarks. I feel like that's really the next frontier. That a lot of things like we have OpenAI showing results for OS World as well as Tau Bench. I believe Claude 4 and Claude 3.5 also showed results for both of those benchmarks too. So I think there's a lot of hill climbing to be done on that end. Yeah.
And not a word from them about any computer use or any agentic stuff. Vibo, go ahead.
I think you still want consistency, right? Like benchmarks are cool, but when we build something with the models, like let's say you build an agent, you want it to be consistent in its output, right? It's like, is it actually like successful 30% of the time, 90% of the time? So I think we should start benchmarking stuff like that, right? Not just can it answer a question, but can it like repeatedly complete tasks successfully with slight deviation? So like, can these things be reliable? Because benchmarks already allow for stuff like, multiple attempts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And on the vending bench, if you guys visit the Anthropic office, go to the cafeteria. The vending machine is live there. I just posted a picture in the watch party. It's what's currently being sold. I went last week. Just go
Nice.
find it in the cafeteria. You can Venmo it. You can see what people are trying to buy.
It has like a self-checkout thing, right?
Yeah. And then it just tells you to Venmo. So like Moxie soda, salted egg salmon skins,
Nice.
Oaktown root beer, Soylent is apparently a thing there. But yeah, go check it out. It's pretty fun.
All right, folks. It looks like we have covered and very enjoyed watching together in our impromptu watch party. We didn't plan this, LDJ and Vibo. Thanks so much for joining. And we got like an incredible amount of folks. We had like 10,000 folks on the live stream on YouTube and X. And we had like, I don't know, I think we picked out like almost 1,500 here on the stream with now 300 folks. I would just say, if you enjoyed this style of talking about AI, we do this every week, folks. I'm the host of ThursdAI. ThursdAI is a live stream that happens every Thursday. It's going to happen tomorrow. In fact, it's going to happen today in some time zones, in around like 10 hours or so. So definitely follow us for that and join us. We do a newsletter and a podcast as well if you can catch us live. We're obviously going to cover everything, not at length. We're not going to restream the whole Elon Musk going existential and thinking about how AI is scary part of of the release, but we're definitely going to cover the main points: the API prices, the benchmarks, the evaluations, the roadmap that they planned, the the context lengths, etc. So it's been a pleasure of mine to host you all. Hopefully, hold you through the boring parts while we all waited for the actual stream. And we do this every week, and more structured, less blah blah, more structured about updates. So feel free to join us on that. It's ThursdAI.news, and we're gonna be here tomorrow covering everything. So we're looking forward to see you tomorrow. Those of you who are new, welcome to the stream. Vibu, thank you so much. We had Robert Scoble before. We had a bunch of folks. Thank you everyone for joining, and congratulations. New model day is always fun, always fun, and we got the best LLM in the world right now in Grok 4. Go enjoy, play with this on Super Grok or whatever. If you end up paying the $300 tier and you are willing to test for us the Grok Heavy, which they didn't talk about that much, but talked a little bit, definitely reach out to me. I would love to highlight some of the research that you do. Thank you everybody for joining, and yeah, we're gonna be tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Join us as we talk about not only this and everything else that also happened in AI. Cheers everyone. Bye bye.